It is Wednesday, February 2nd in the NBA, and I'm back with my 4 best picks of the day. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's do a quick recap from yesterday because we started off February with a winning day, a 2-1 day. Our best bet of the day overall, Wendell Carter Jr. cashes with ease. I believe he cashes over in points alone. CP3 shows up, cashes his PRA line despite Jay Crowder and DeAndre Ayton being ruled back in. Our lone loss of the day, Chris Middleton. Yeah, he decided, you know what, I don't feel like shooting today. As he attempted 7 shots prior to the fourth quarter, attempted, I believe, 12 attempts on the day. You're not heading over doing that. But either way, a profitable day. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. And I gotta say, this is my plea to you guys. Please hit that. We were so close to 22,000. I believe like 100 subscribers away. And I want to hit 22,000 subscribers on February 2nd, 2022. A whole bunch of 2. So if you are new, consider hitting that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's hop into my best bet of the day. Well, first we have a couple extra notes. Number 1, our podcast is live later today, early morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Go check it out. I'll link it down below. Number 2, our weekly live stream tonight, powered by Dimers, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I expect to see you guys out there. We'll be answering every single one of your questions that you guys have for the Wednesday slate in the NBA, which we got a lot of games on today. And my final one, number 3, if you ever want to sign up for we have this BetMGM Sportsbook sign-up bonus that I have on the side of the screen, probably on this side, but still, if you want to check that out, you want to check out our other sportsbook sign-up bonuses, definitely check out the link down below, dimers.com/COS. It helps us a big time if you use those links to sign up for sportsbooks, and so we would appreciate it in advance. It is linked down below. Without further ado, let's waste no more time. Best bet of the day, bet on a pretty good run and ride with the guy. Name's Ja Morant, over 27.5 points, -110 on FanDuel. Now look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This man has been on another mission the past 7 games. He's just been out of his mind. He's playing ridiculously well. Now, a lot of that was because his teammates were out, but his teammates returned last game, and Ja Morant still continued to feast. And I think the main guy we're looking to keep out, Dillon Brooks, who will be again out today due to injury, not due to health and safety protocols. Now, today he's on the big stage in Madison Square Garden on ESPN. The bright lights are on him, and Ja Morant always shows up for those games. Now, Ja Morant, he's cruised over this line, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 7. 7 straight games he's hit this over, and he scored 30-plus points in all 7 of them, so not just 28 on the hook. He scored 35-plus points in 4 of those games, and this guy's been ridiculous, and I expect him to continue it against my New York Knicks. Now, majority of these games, why he's been going over, he's been aggressive. Shouldn't come as a surprise. He's been attempted a lot of shots, 22-plus field goal attempts in all 7 games, and majority of those attempts are right at the rim. This is a guy that attempts, I know he drives the most, but he's been attempted, I believe, scores in the top 10 in points in the game, points in the paint per game, might even be number 1 in the league. This is a guy that is not a center. He is a guy that is a point guard that is driving over the last 7 games, driving 25 times per game. Last game, he drove 33 times alone against the Philadelphia 76ers. This guy getting to the rim and scoring at will. Now, the Grizzlies have played at a super fast pace over the past 15 games. I believe like 3rd fastest pace in the league. And look, the Knicks normally are a team that goes pretty slow, but they normally, when watching them, they normally go to the speed of the other team. And I think that means I will play a little bit faster. I believe the over-under is in the high two teens, like 217, maybe even a low 220. So you look at it, this is an interesting matchup because the Knicks on paper, they only give up the 2nd most points per game in the paint, but that stat is a little bit misused because the difference between the 2nd best in terms of allowing the 2nd lowest points per game in the paint and the 2nd worst team is just 9 points. It's not a whole big difference, and sometimes that comes down to pace of play. The Knicks are a slower playing team, whereas the team that gives it the 2nd most points in the paint, the San Antonio Spurs, play much faster at a much faster pace. Now, over the past 15 games, Knicks allowed the 5th most points per game to opposing point guards at over 25 per game, and the Grizzlies, like I said, are still without Dillon Brooks. Morant was just named first-time NBA All-Star about a week ago. He's been getting to the rim. I'm not really afraid of Mitchell Robinson or Nerlens Noel at the rim. This is the guy, Ja Morant, that's just crafty and he's getting it done for his team. Also, secretly, I do think the Knicks actually have a chance of winning this game, which is a pretty good thing for Ja Morant and his Grizzlies if they are losing or trailing in this game. Ja Morant will be even more aggressive. Bright lights, Madison Square Garden, sign me up. Ja Morant over 27.5 points. Moving on to my next pick, before we get into we have one over-under pick today. We normally don't do a ton of spreads or over-unders. We got one for you. We're going with the guy, Luka Doncic. I'm taking his over 48.5 PRAs, -115 on DraftKings. Now, truthfully, I think the best value here might be on his assist line, but it was like -140, and I didn't really want to lay a lot of juice. His triple-double is not a bad pick either. Now, let's talk about Luka. And when I look at it, before I get into my analysis, I got to ask you guys a question out there. Who on this team can create their own shot besides Luka Doncic? Now think to yourself, who do the Mavs have? Well, Jalen Brunson, he's been starting. Okay, I'll concede him. Tim Hardaway Jr., sure, I'll concede him too. Too bad he's out today. Kristaps Porzingis, sure, I'll concede that point as well. Too bad he's out today as well. And then you got other guys starting with Luka, Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell. I've never seen any of these three guys create their own shot. Every guy has to be spoon-fed the ball in a scoring position. And no disrespect to them. That's just not their game. They're not going to create a ton of their own shots. They could probably cook me one-on-one, but that's irrelevant. Coming off the bench, Trey Burke can create his own shot. He plays like 3 minutes a game. And then the other guys like Marquise Chris, Josh Green, Reggie Bullock, none of those guys are really going to score their own basketball. So really, it's just Luka, and he's going to have to carry the team because over the last 2 games, without Kristaps and not Tim Hardaway Jr., Luka's had 48 and 57 PRAs. Now, I get the concern. He missed one of those games on, well, you think, well, a blowout is a concern against a team like the OKC Thunder. And yeah, the game he ended on the hook with 48 PRAs was a blowout. He didn't play the whole fourth quarter. Well, he actually came in with like 3 minutes left and got that additional assist for his rebounds plus assist line. But yeah, he didn't play a ton of minutes in that game, but he only had 6 rebounds. And, he's a guy that averages over 7 rebounds per game, probably going to flirt with a triple-double today. So I think he gets it done. Now, in my opinion, the Mavericks not blowing out a team unless Luka Doncic is scoring the ball effectively, or at least assisting and getting it, filling up the stat sheet. They're not going to blow out a team like that. And if they do, probably means the Thunder scored like 3 points a quarter. But look at Luka. This is a high PRA line, which I don't really personally like taking the high PRA lines, but I think he gets it done coming off 2 days rest. Normally plays pretty well off 2 days rest. And he wasn't named an NBA All-Star starter for the Western Conference. I think he took that a little bit personally because the last 2 games where he's at 48 and 57 PRAs have been after that announcement. So I think he gets it going today, and I think he gets it done. Look, Luka's going to have to carry this team. He did play against the Thunder a couple weeks ago, had 43 PRAs in that one, shot 4 for 17 from the field. Obviously, Kristaps and Tim Hardaway Jr. were active for that game. Should be a little bit more active today. Lou Dort will be annoying him, but Lou Dort, he's too small. He can do that. He'll probably be doing that taunt and measure that people do on the street ball courts. Because look, Lou Dort just too small. They'll just abuse him in the paint all day long. Over the last 15 games, Thunder have given up the 3rd most rebounds per game and the most assists per game to opposing point guards. Should be able to do it and fill up the stat sheet. Luka's like 40% of this Mavs offense. I expect a big game out of him. Maybe a 30-point triple-double is what we're on the horizon. Now, moving on to my over-under pick of the day. We're going to stay in this game. We're going back to old reliable Oklahoma City Thunder team total under 98.5 points, -115 on DraftKings. DraftKings the only book with this line at the moment. But look, OKC, maybe this is a little bit of a mini hedge on Luka today, because if they don't score 98 points and this is a blowout, then whatever. We might lose our Luka bet, but if it's a blowout, I don't see the Thunder scoring 98 points. Look, the Thunder will be without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as well. Now, if you want to take some Josh Giddey props, don't mind taking those as well, as the one game that he had that triple-double, like 17, 13, and 14, was against this team in the Dallas Mavericks. Now, like the 3 times these teams have played, the OKC Thunder have managed 84, 86, and 102 points. Going over in just one of those games, not even coming close in the other games, but the one game they went over, 34 of their 102 points were from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Well, they don't have those 30% of their scoring. They won't have that. They're going to need to find other guys to score, and SGA did it very efficiently. 11 for 18 from the field, 11 for 12 from the free throw line. Well, sorry, you aren't going to have him today. So the Thunder have gone under in each of their last 4 games without SGA. That includes their last game when they scored 98 points versus the Blazers, which I don't know what happened to the Blazers that game. They were up after the first quarter and then just absolutely combusted. The other games, 86, 97, and 79 points to 79. In that game, they lost by the most points of all time to the Memphis Grizzlies by 73 points or whatever the heck it was. Now, this team is obviously not very good without SGA. They're going to struggle to score the basketball. We haven't even talked about the Mavericks' elite defense, currently the 5th best defensive rating in the NBA. They're going to be starting guys that play a little bit more defense, like Tim Hardaway Jr. And Kristaps is a decent defender, more of a rim protector, but they got Maxi Kleber out there, a much better defender, and Dwight Powell, a pretty good rim protector as well. Obviously, Reggie Bullock coming off the bench is pretty good, solid as well. Now you look at the Dallas Mavericks play at the 5th slowest pace as well in the league, so not a lot of opportunities for the Thunder to score, which normally plays into the help of Luka Doncic because he'll be able to kind of slow the game down and do his thing on offense. Now look, the Thunder have gone under in 5 of their last 8 road games. This doesn't matter if SGA is active or not. They've still gone under 5 of their last 8. The games they went over, the Wizards and Nets, they don't play an ounce of defense these days. And then obviously they went over in that game against the Mavericks when they got 34 points from SGA. Now the Thunder are dead last 30th in the NBA in field goal percentage and dead last 30th in three-point field goal percentage. And those numbers are even worse on the road as they average 2.5% lower from the field and 3% worse from three. This team stinks without SGA, and they stink on the road as well. There's a reason SGA normally plays much better on the road. It's because his teammates aren't giving him any help. So I love the Mavs to control the tempo, play solid defense, control it, and I think hopefully Luka's piling up the rebounds so that we can hit this PRA line as well. Go for a little 2-0 sweep in this game. So I'm taking it, and as always, my patented motto: you can't spell thunder without the word under. So we're riding with their team total under 98.5 points. Now, before we get into my last player prop of the day, do you want to say I'll see you guys at the live stream later tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And also, we might add one more play today so we get up to 5 total. I'd like to have an odd number for fun. So without further ado, and there were some other lines we didn't have, but I'll be waiting for them. Here we go. Going to a guy, Scary Terry. It's not Halloween, but we're still taking him. Over 27.5 PRAs, minus 110 on DraftKings. Now, if you don't have PRAs, just like Luka, and what I said his assists, I think his assists here is probably the best, but I think his points is a pretty solid bet too. Now today, we have a good old-fashioned revenge game. Terry Rozier back in Boston taking on the Celtics, and while Wendell Carter Jr. treated us super nicely on the yesterday, I think Terry Rozier will treat us nicely today. Now, Rozier's tenure with the Celtics ended really not that great, as he left a couple years back, maybe 3 years back, and they kind of said, you know what, we don't want to pay you, Rozier. We're going to pay Kemba Walker, this guy, a ton of money. We obviously see how the Kemba Walker experiment ruled and kind of ended with the Celtics, I believe, buying him out. But look, Rozier certainly hasn't forgotten that, because in his last 4 games against Boston, 3 of which were at TD Garden, which is where they're at today, he's had 33, 37, 25, and 42 PRAs, hitting the over easily in 3 of those 4 games. The 42 coming just 2 weeks ago when he just lit him up for 28 points, hitting this over in just points alone, 4 rebounds and 10 assists. Now, best part about it, Rozier, unlike Chris Middleton, he's actually shooting the ball. He's shooting 18 plus times in each of the last 4 games against Boston, been firing it up. His one miss was a game he shot 4 for 18 from the field. And look, I can live with the guy if he's going to fire it up. I can live with it. If he's going to shoot terribly from the field, I can live with the over not hitting, but I think he will continue to shoot today, especially with a little bit of revenge on his mind. Now, Terry was cruising over this line every single game about 2 weeks ago. That went into a little bit of a slump. It really hasn't hit this over too often in his past couple games, but he did go over 2 games ago against the Lakers. And some of those games he has gone under in 2 of his last, he's gone under in, I believe, 4 of his last 5 games. Now 3 of those games have played under 30 minutes. He should see easily 37 to 40 minutes tonight. He's a volume shooter, capable of hitting this over in just points alone. And look, Gordon Hayward is out again today. Kelly Oubre, we'll see if he returns, but I think Terry Rozier will have revenge on his mind. So we're taking this over 27.5 PRAs. Those are my 4 official plays. If we have a last one, we'll add it down below. We have these sign-up bonuses that you want to check it out. Plus, we have the live stream later tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We live for about 30 to 35 minutes, so definitely come check it out then. And the podcast live later tonight, or late tonight, 10 a.m. Eastern time, probably live by the time you're watching it. So go check out that. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Man, let's have a great Wednesday. Let's have another great profitable day in the NBA in February. Let's keep it going. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.